through those gates right there. Remember you said that you wanted a Tesla? Well, I got you one of those.
And we opposite. I be on this straight, get to the money. Don't make me drop some shit. 7 days a week, I can fly private if I wanted to. I'm consistent, I won't ever let up if I wanted to. I'm persistent, I see every detail and won't skip a step. Real leader, won't tell my dog do something I wouldn't do myself. We picked up Chanel, and we leave Fendi on the shelf. Yo, I'm big as hell, hell to the Juke and then myself.
I swear to God, okay?
Okay. Fuck your fat Eric! Don't play that shit! Yeah, bitch, what they talking?
What started as a fairy tale romance between Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons has now turned into a silent storm. No captions, no breakup posts, just pure digital disappearance. And just as fans started to move on, GloRilla stepped into the spotlight, like she was born for the role. Is this a love triangle, a label strategy, or a full-blown trap soap opera? One thing's for sure, this story isn't over. In fact, the real drama might be just beginning. Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons have seemingly parted ways without making a sound, and the silence is speaking volumes. Insiders say Angela felt like she was giving more to the relationship than she was getting in return, while Gotti stayed busy, with non-stop studio sessions, business moves, and appearances, leaving her feeling like she was no longer a priority. And when a woman feels overlooked, it is usually a sign that something is off. Meanwhile, GloRilla ignited the internet without even speaking her flashy, quiet flexes all but confirmed that Gotti has stepped into full sugar daddy mode, sending social media into a frenzy. But what really shocked fans was Angela's quiet exit. No farewell post, no cryptic caption, no subtle hintage to say sudden disappearance. One moment she was smiling beside Gotti, and the next, she vanished without a trace, leaving everyone to wonder what really went down behind the scenes. But this is far from your everyday breakup. This feels like it was ripped straight from the pages of a hip-hop soap opera. There is drama, shade, suspense, and enough plot twists to rival a season finale. From luxurious date nights and matching fits to vanishing acts and icy silence, the entire saga between Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons is anything but ordinary. At first, it was all glitter and fairy dust, lavish trips, public declarations, and a vibe that screamed relationship goals. But just as quickly as the dream began, it shattered, replaced with silence so loud it echoed across social media timelines. What really makes this story hit different is how calculated everything now feels. One minute, the couple was flaunting their bond in front of cameras and fans. And the next poof, it was like none of it ever happened. There were no dramatic tweets, no messy back and forths, just a slow deletion of digital affection. Birthday posts stopped. Event appearances dried up. And Angela, who once used to subtly show her love through small gestures and supportive messages, disappeared from Gotti's orbit entirely. That absence, it was not random. It was deliberate, polished, and cold in a way that suggested things had ended long before fans even noticed. But just when it seemed like the dust had settled and everyone had accepted the quiet split, another twist entered the chat, and this one came with smoke. Out of nowhere, GloRilla, Gotti's rising star under CMG, started taking center stage in more ways than one. From studio sessions to luxury gifts to intimate social media moments, it became clear that she was not just another artist on the label, she was being treated like royalty. And while no one has confirmed anything, the timing raised more than a few eyebrows. Was this just a strategic move to push GloRilla into the spotlight? Or was there something deeper brewing behind those flirtatious smirks and shared glances? Naturally, fans did what they do best: speculate, dissect, and stir the pot. Every post, every outfit, every caption was suddenly under the microscope. Was Angela sidelined? Did Gotti move on to fast, or worse, was he never fully in it to begin with? And as GloRilla embraced her new globe, looking like the leading lady in her own success story, Angela kept her distance. No comments, no rebuttals, just a noticeable shift in energy and a social media feed that said she was prioritizing peace over drama. Now, the public is caught in the middle of a love triangle that is equal parts intriguing and messy. Is this the rise of a new power couple, or just clever branding? Was Angela the one who got away, or did she make a clean escape from a narrative that was never truly about her? One thing is clear: this is not just another breakup. It is a full-blown spectacle. A trap love tale with more layers than expected, so let us rewind and unpack how we even got here, because this story is far from over. There was a time when Yo Gotti's admiration for Angela Simmons felt like something out of a hip-hop fairy tale. He made no secret of his feelings, he rapped about her with the kind of passion that turned bars into personal love notes. Whether in interviews or tracks, Angela was his muse, the dream girl he boldly put on a pedestal for the world to see. Fans watched as his affection grew from distant admiration into a full-blown pursuit. So when Angela finally gave him the green light, it felt like the stars had aligned. Gotti pulled out all the stops: lavish getaways, first-class flights, glommed-up red carpet appearances, and matching designer fits that screamed "we made it." Together, they embodied what many saw as the ultimate power couple, rich in love, influence, and style. It was the kind of union that made headlines and had social media in a chokehold. For a while, everything sparkled. Angela glowed with happiness, and Gotti looked like a man who had finally captured the heart he had been chasing for years. But then came the silence. Gradually, then suddenly, the magic seemed to wear off. The couple's once vibrant digital footprint began to vanish without warning. There were no more romantic captions under photos, no playful interactions in comment sections, no surprise posts or cozy selfies. Angela stopped reposting Gotti's songs. Gotti stopped hyping her brand. It was as if the relationship had been erased with the swipe of a thumb. No explanations were given, no cryptic "we're better off apart" stories, just radio silence. Fans who had followed their journey from admiration to romance were left confused, piecing together clues from social media breadcrumbs that had already been swept away. To those paying attention, the quiet spoke volumes. Something had shifted behind the scenes, and whatever it was, it hit hard enough to dismantle the glossy facade they had built together. Gotti, once overflowing with affection, was back to business as usual: music, appearances, and carefully curated captions. Angela, on the other hand, pulled back into her own lane, showing up solo and pouring her focus into her family, career, and healing. Their love story, once a public spectacle of grand gestures and heart emojis, had disappeared into the ether. What remains now is the mystery. Was it timing? Was it pressure? Did the fairy tale fizzle under the weight of real-life expectations? We may never know, but one thing is clear: what began as one of hip-hop's most unexpected and celebrated love chases quietly came to a close. Not with drama or scandal, but with a fade-out so subtle, it could only mean one thing: the dream was real, but it simply ran its course. Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons' story did not just fizzle. It evaporated with the kind of silence that said more than any statement ever could. It all began with the classic telltale sign: the mutual no more shoutouts, no nostalgic throwbacks, not even a simple birthday repost. Angela, who had always been low-key but strategic with her moves, disappeared without a trace. That digital disconnect was loud, it was deliberate. No "we wish each other well," no vague captions hinting at closure, just ice-cold energy. And while Angela exited quietly, reclaiming her space with graceful captions that sounded a lot like poetic jabs, Gotti kept moving like nothing ever happened. But silence, it roared. Then came GloRilla, stepping into the limelight like the next chapter was already written. From the start, Gotti treated her like royalty: first-class flights, diamond chains, and VIP everything. Suddenly, the spotlight shifted. Glow's glow up was impossible to miss: new look, polished style, and confidence that lit up the timeline. Her posts were subtle flexes, but the message was loud. She was leveling up, and many believed Gotti was behind it. Fans connected dots fast, dubbing it the Gotti effect. While Angela faded from his public world, GloRilla became its centerpiece. She was not just another artist on CMG, she was the chosen one. Meanwhile, Angela, once the queen of his lyrics and luxury gestures, was seemingly pushed aside. Sources close to her say she had already emotionally checked out, tired of giving her all and getting crumbs in return. She played the role of a loyal partner, holding him down while he chased deals and hit the road, rarely showing up for her the way she showed up for him. In contrast, Gotti was front and center for GloRilla's every win, Heitman mentor, maybe even more. He called her the face of CMG, sang her praises on every stage, and never missed a beat in supporting her rise. The difference was glaring, and fans noticed. Angela was no longer the muse. She had become a memory, while GloRilla basked in a spotlight that once belonged to someone else. What had started as a love story turned into a storyline full of plot twists, icy goodbyes, and power moves. Now the question everyone is asking: was Gotti ever serious about Angela, or was she just a chapter before the main event? Yo Gotti and GloRilla's bond has been turning heads, and it is clear now this is not just about studio sessions and signed contracts. Gotti has been consistently tagging her, praising her, and putting her in the spotlight in ways that feel far more intimate than typical label love. The looks, the laughs, the private jets, the designer gift set is all painting a picture much deeper than business as usual. Social media has not missed a beat. Every glance Gotti throws her way during interviews, every smirk during their live streams. Has the internet convinced this is personal? GloRilla's GloUp has fans calling it the Gotti effect, and it is hard to argue. She is not just rising, she is radiating confidence and control, like she owns the stage and, maybe even a piece of his heart. Meanwhile, Angela Simmons has gone completely silent. No posts, no shade, no acknowledgements, not even a birthday shout. And for a woman who once filled her feed with romantic energy and subtle flexes, that silence hits heavy. Angela, who stood by Gotti with grace and loyalty, now appears to have walked away completely. Her rebranded feed screams independence, healing, and a quiet kind of power. She is glowing too, but hers is the kind that comes from letting go. While fans argue over who is winning, Gotti has all but disappeared from the conversation, letting the internet speculate while streams climb and drama fuels engagement. Some say this entire story arc might be strategic, real-life rollout for GloRilla's rise, while Angela's chapter fades to black. But even if there is a method to the madness, the emotional toll is real. Gotti once rapped about Angela like she was his dream girl, elevating her in his lyrics and chasing her like a fairy tale. That chase seemed to end with a whisper. Now holds the mic, the spotlight, and possibly the next chapter in this very public, very messy, very real saga. Angela was never just another love interest. She was the dream girl, the muse, the one Gotti placed high on a pedestal for the world to admire. Fans believed it was true love, the kind you write lyrics about. But maybe it was always more fantasy than foundation. Because once Angela finally said yes, once that fairy tale turned into day-to-day reality, the magic began to fade. From the outside, it started looking like Gotti pulled back. That over-the-top romance turned into silence, and the picture-perfect love story started to crack. The truth is, real relationships take more than grand gestures and red carpets. Angela walked into this with real life, weight grief, motherhood, healing, and the constant pressure to hold it all together in public. She needed something stable, something present. But Gotti might not have been ready for the responsibility that came with that. He may have loved the image, but not the reality. And behind the scenes, the pressure was mounting. Reports surfaced about Angela dealing with financial stress, even facing lawsuits over unpaid rental while keeping up the appearance of a flawless life online. It was glam on the timeline, chaos in real life. That kind of tension doesn't just strain a romance, it breaks it. And this breakup, it wasn't slow, it hit hard and fast, with the aftershocks still shaking social media. But don't think this love triangle has ended. Angela's quiet now, but her silence is powerful. The second she chooses to speak, whether through a cryptic post, a surprise boo reveal, or an explosive interview, the internet will light up. Meanwhile, GloRilla is in her own lane, glowing in every direction. Her bars are sharp, her brand is strong, and she is moving like a woman fully in control. Her rise is unstoppable, her confidence unshakable. It is giving luxury, boss status, and full-on main character energy. And Angela, she walked away without chaos or drama. No messy tweets, no Instagram rants, just pure grace. That kind of quiet exit, that is power. It told the world everything without saying a word. But make no mistake, this saga is still simmering. So here we are, watching it all unfold. Did GloRilla really step in and take the spotlight? Or is Gotti simply rewriting his next chapter? Is this a next-level power move or the fallout of a dream that was never meant to be real? One thing is certain, the dynamic has shifted. GloRilla's confidence is intentional, her presence commanding. And the silence from both Angela and Gotti, that silence is screaming. The story is far from over, so get ready, because the next chapter is coming, and it is going to be explosive.